Welcome to All That Catholic Stuff. I'm Chris Bray.
You just need to know you are the beloved child of God.
Do Catholics believe that they can work their way to heaven? I mean, don't they teach a gospel of works righteousness? Actually, the idea that someone could work for their own salvation was a 4th century heresy known as Pelagianism, and it was dogmatically condemned by the Catholic Church in the Council of Trent. The Catholic Church has never taught that someone can merit themselves their own salvation. Does that mean then that we are saved by faith alone? Well, let's turn to Scripture, because those words faith and alone, they're only found in Scripture in one place, and it's in James chapter 2. And it says this, "See, a man is justified by works and not by faith alone." I think where the confusion comes in is understanding the distinction between faith and works and how faith works together. See what I did there? See, faith works. Opponents of this view will often cite Romans chapter 3 or Galatians chapter 3, and they'll say, see, St. Paul says that we are justified by faith apart from the works of the law. They'll be like, see, here's the proof text, it's faith alone. Well, first of all, Paul doesn't say faith alone. He says faith apart from works of the law. And so what I think we need to understand is what St. Paul is talking about in the context of these passages. See, he's dealing with a huge issue in the early church. The people are saying, hey, if you want to be a Christian, if you want to be a follower of Christ, first you need to be circumcised. You need to perform the works of the law. As a 31-year-old adult male, I would have a huge problem with that. St. Paul isn't saying that no works whatsoever, because in Romans chapter 2 verse 6, he says, he will render to every man according to his works. And actually in Matthew chapter 25 in the Great Judgment, what is the criteria for making it to either heaven or hell? It's what we did, our works. We can't work in a legalistic kind of way, perform these certain actions, and then we're good to go. We need to have faith, just like Paul says in Romans chapter 3 and Galatians 3. See, we are justified by our faith, but not faith that is alone, like James chapter 2 reminds us. This faith that is working through love, as Paul says in Galatians. This faith that is alive, that is not dead. And faith that is alive has works. See, faith works. Like faith works, but faith works. Follow me? Even the most fundamentalist Christian, those that would reduce salvation down to one thing, if you ask them the question, you say, well, how are you saved? Oftentimes they'll say, well, I repented and I believed and I professed with my lips that Jesus is Lord and I confessed my sins and maybe I prayed a sinner's prayer. All of those things are works. Those are things that you do in response to faith. See, Catholic theology on faith and salvation can really be summarized by Ephesians chapter 2 verses 8 to 9. For by grace you have been saved through faith. It's not of yourselves. It is a gift. It's not of works, lest any man should boast. We can't work our way to salvation. We can't work our way into a state of faith. No. We come to faith because of grace already working in us. Grace always precedes us. Our ability even to turn to God is already a working of grace in our lives. That's not something that we can boast in or take credit for at all. Ultimately, we just need to remember one thing, that faith works. I'm Chris Bray, and I approve this message. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, I have 4 things for you to do. The first one is to like my Facebook page. The second one is to share this video. The third one is to go to my website, chrisbraymusic.com, and subscribe to receive all that Catholic stuff to your inbox. And the fourth one is to consider bringing me to your faith community for a parish mission, a night of worship, or a youth event.
You just need to know you are the beloved child